Welcome back to Faith and Justice Podcast. I am your man, Dr. L.
I am his co-host, Dr. B.
All right. I'm not going there anymore with you. So welcome to the show. I appreciate you
Yes, sir.
guys joining in, checking in. He's having contact issues. You good, man? You blinking like crazy over there, man.
I'll be all right, man. My contacts are, it's just,
I can't touch my eye, man. I
yeah,
cannot touch my eye.
yeah.
I am.
I'll be all right.
I
And one eye
cannot
pop
touch my
out for a
eye.
while, but I'll be all right. I'll come
All
back.
right.
Okay.
All right. I just don't want you
Thank you are
winking at me.
concerned, sir. You are concerned for me. I
Well, I'm
appreciate it.
concerned that you might be winking at me, and I don't go that way, man. So
Sir,
just
I
want you to
am
know.
not winking at you in any shape or form or fashion, sir. The devil, I'm gonna keep my eyes closed for a while until I'm happy. I don't want you to leave here like I was trying to hit on you, sir. Not at all. The devil is a liar.
So we got a few things I want to talk about today. Somebody sent me a video about men talking about their emotions in silence. I'd like to get your opinion on it. They started talking a lot of Christian lingo, so I said this would be a good video for you and I to cover.
Okay.
Two things I want to start off before we get to those. First, let's talk about freaky sex. You deal with sex.
Yes, sir.
I assume when I'm talking about this in a counseling situation, counseling way. I assume, have had to deal with couples who have had maybe different types of sex drives, sex preferences,
Libido.
well, I'm not talking about libido and just what they like to do in the bedroom.
Sure.
So, from a Christian perspective and from a secular perspective, how do you deal with people, or what is your advice to people who are dealing with different preferences? Some people are really, really into oral. Some people are into other stuff. Some people don't like it. They don't want to touch it. They don't want their mouth near there. Don't put yours near mine. Talk to us a little bit about that.
All right. So the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 13 that the marriage bed is undefiled. So I start from there. And also I start from Exodus chapter 20, verse 15, that says adultery is wrong. So I say, in essence, your marriage bedroom is open to everything except for adultery. And for me, adultery is 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, or 6-way, or any type of sex of that magnitude. Secondly, there has to be a compromise. There has to be a compromise in the bedroom. You may not be comfortable with this, and some men are very slick because some men don't want to have oral. They won't allow oral on them because I don't want to do it. So because I don't want to do it, I won't do it at all. That is still restraining the bedroom. And the Bible does say that the couple should please one another.
Wait. I just want to understand. So they're saying, I don't want to perform, or a man is saying, I don't want to perform oral on my woman. So therefore, I'm not going to require it. That you
Oh my God. It has happened so many times, Dr. L. Men who, because I don't want to do it, I won't require you to do it to me. And that's just foolishness, because the softest part of your body is your tongue.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Let me get my notebook out, man. Take some notes here, man. Go ahead, man.
The softest part of your body is your tongue. And just like direct stimulation upon the head of a man's phallus is very, very sensitive and very orgasmic, so is the top of a woman's clitoris. Same way. And using
What's
your
a clitoris?
hand.
I'm joking. Go ahead. I'm joking, man. Go ahead. I've seen one or two in my life. Go ahead, man.
Sir, your nickname is Wilt Chamberlain, okay? So your nickname is Wilt Chamberlain, okay? So
oh my God, come on.
You ain't start that, sir. Your nickname is Wilt Chamberlain. So anyway, a lot of men are very selfish in the bedroom. And it's not about getting your rocks off, it's making sure your girl gets her rocks as well.
All right. So again, let me some people, you obviously are coming from this from a Christian perspective, and you lead off with scriptures, but there are certain people out there who would say, I don't particularly enjoy doing X. Now you're saying that they should power through their lack of enjoyment.
Compromise. Compromise. This is where, again, in marriage counseling, I'll talk about 3 C's: connection, communication, compromise, in that order. If I'm connected to you, I want to please you. We're going to
Mhm.
talk about it, communication. Then we're going to find a compromise. If you can't go all the way, then let's compromise, find a way to do it. And there are many ways you can compromise any type of sexual position or sexual or sexual point that you want to do on each other. There's a simple, always a compromise, sir.
Okay,
Always.
so there's a compromise.
Mhm.
So
Also, let me interject this. Sometimes they don't want to do a particular sexual act because they were sexually abused with that act. All right, and for women especially, or men, when they've been abused in a very in a specific sexual act, and I can remember several cases where I had to help the spouse understand. Listen, as long as you don't do that sexual act, you are letting your abuser win. Your abuser is still controlling you. Your abuser is still in charge, and that abuser could be dead. That abuser could be in jail. That abuser could be many miles away. But because of what happened to you, which we do honor that, and we do respect that, you cannot allow that. And I can remember many people just releasing themselves to say, you know what? No, I'm not going to let that abuser control me. So that's why they powered through, not just to please their husband, but also to break free of what bondage that the sexual abuser had them under.
so again, here there's that word kind of powering through. So you had to kind of swallow it. I'm not trying to be funny here. Just try to embrace whatever happened and whatever therapeutic steps. I gotta be careful not to use that word there. Whatever steps they have to do to get to where they need to get to, and they're able to do it. Are they able to then enjoy it uh, because they have formed the connection that you talked about?
Uh,
Enjoy the act.
I believe connections. Okay, how powerful is connection? It's so powerful it can create life. So I tell couples all the time, if your connection can create life or create a baby, then how come your connection can't also create healing? That's why I believe in connection so powerfully in a relationship. Communication is not number one in a relationship. Communication, let me repeat myself. Communication is not number one in a relationship. It's first your connection. We are talking to each other, even though we're in the same city, we're talking to each other via connection, via StreamYard connection. Without the StreamYard connection, we could not talk right now. So many couples start with a strong connection, but they end up with a very bad connection. So now they live in separate bedrooms, and yet they are roommates. So
Well,
how
okay.
how can you really enjoy sex with your spouse when you're not totally connected? And if you're connected, I'm going to see the tenderness of my spouse. I'm going to be understanding. Okay, the reason why my spouse don't want to do X because it's a trigger back to their childhood. So let me help them heal. And the goal is not the sexual act. The goal is the healing of my spouse. And once you change your perspective and your goal, you'll see things work out much better.
What if it's not a connection issue or a trigger issue, but they really just don't like this act? I really
We
don't.
have to There have to be a digging of why, because there's always a why. There's always a why I don't like.
So I'm trying to figure out what word this here. I am nowhere close to Will Chamberlain. Nowhere close to Will Chamberlain.
You see,
However,
being so modest right now, but go ahead.
jeez, do not flood my DMs. Do not flood this comment section here. What if they don't like the act? Ooh, I've been with ladies. I've been with ladies who really just did not enjoy doggy style,
Okay.
which was wow.
Yeah.
So again, I would ask, and they would say it just was animalistic, and they didn't think that human beings ought to do it like that. That was the answer.
Mhm.
Whether it's something deeper as you're alluding to, I don't know, but that was the answer they gave me.
Mhm.
How would a man deal with that?
Well, the first, the man have to understand that if she says no to that, can I still be with her?
Right, right,
I-
right, right, right.
if she says no to a certain act or a certain position, can I stay with her?
Mm.
Is that act or position so important that it's a break? And if the answer is yes, then that man is very shallow. Uh, uh, very shallow.
Really? You would think
Yes.
that? You would say that?
You're gonna let
Wow.
a sexual act keep you from loving a woman?
Yeah,
One
I would.
sexual act?
I would. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that explains why you don't have a woman.
No, because if you are listen, if you are used to and enjoy certain things and everything else could be good, but that particular act is your bread and butter. I mean, I am willing to be talked out of this. I'm not saying what I'm saying is correct. I'm saying it's correct for me today where I am. And this is what I enjoy. Here's what I enjoy sexually. Here's what I enjoy. And if you're not willing to accommodate me, then I know I'm going to stray. I know
Can I
I'm
say
going to stray.
can I say something out loud? Okay.
Please,
Are
please
you
do.
having sex 24/7 or are you connecting 24/7? You
Wow.
you're connecting more than having sex 24/7.
So
You
I need to
you
go
are
into the bedroom and not
you
be pleased.
listen,
Would you get with a woman whose food was absolutely disgusting and have that same philosophy? Am I eating 24/7?
you eat depends what you're eating. But anyway,
Oh, all right. Touche, brother. Touche.
all
Go
I
ahead,
am saying
man.
with your wife and the husband, there has to be a compromise. That's why in premarital counseling, I teach couples tell each other what's on the menu. Don't
Mm.
don't don't be surprised after the wedding. Oh, you didn't want to do that? Oh, how come you didn't tell me this before we got married? So tell each other what's on the menu, and then let your spouse make that decision whether they can do that or not.
You obviously don't believe in premarital sex, but sometimes it would happen. So talk to us about the bait and switch. They did this, then now the other, and now it switches up. Whether it's let's get back to frequency and libido. And there was another therapist who did a couple of videos about this, and she talked about the name of the videos are why women have sex, and it was really to procure resources and
Mhm,
to trick
mhm,
men
mhm.
into marriage. So the bait and switch, you're freaking before marriage, you slide that ring on, you exchange vows, you're having it, 3 times a day, and next thing you know, after that marriage, within a month, it's down to down to once or twice a month.
Yeah, that's a serious crime. That you're doing something, then when you get married, uh, you switch up. That's definitely wrong. That's why premarital counseling is so important. That because whatever your foundation is in your relationship, you have to have this precursor that say whatever our foundation is, we must maintain it. We must. And if you're not, and in premarital counseling, that can be seen very simply whether this person is going to keep their end of the bargain or switch on you. That's very seen very easily doing premarital counseling because a good counselor is going to dig to make sure that you're not hesitating. They're going to make sure that you're not just doing this because I just want to have a ring on my finger. A good premarital counseling will do the hard questions to make sure there is no bait and switch. The main reason why there's bait and switch because people don't do premarital counseling. They did. I mean, I've seen you for 3 months. Let's get married. There was no premarital counseling. Zero. In my first marriage, I had no premarital counseling. Zero. Zero.
So again, with the Christian thing here, and this would go into bait and switch. We did it. I didn't. There was no issues. Everything is good. This, that, and the other. And then next thing you know, hey, listen, and this happened to me a year or two in. It's like I really didn't never enjoy that, and I don't want to do that anymore.
Again, that's why most couples need It's amazing to me. People will vet buying property. They will vet a career. They will vet moving to another continent, but they won't vet another woman or a man they're going to be with the rest of their lives. Vet them. Ask the tough questions. Get the premarital counseling. You don't buy a house without asking some type of investigation on the house. I need someone to appraise this house. So I need a marriage counselor to do the appraisal. I need someone to appraise us and say, you know what, are we really worthy to do this? Can we do we have conflict resolution? Do we have childhood trauma that have not been dealt with correctly? These are very important questions that a lot of people do not do. And you are right. They find out afterwards. Most people who divorce, they divorce because of that very famous question. I didn't know. And so because you didn't know, the Bible says, as you know, because you do have a church background, amen. My people are destroyed for lack of. There you go. I knew he was waiting to do that. I mean, he got the button right there. Yeah. Okay. One more time again. Make sure. Okay. There you go. All right, people. He's really enjoying himself. My people are destroyed for lack of what? Knowledge. So people, he wanted to put.
It's a new feature. They just added it, so I can shrink it down like that. Go ahead, man. You don't get distracted, man.
My people are destroyed. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So a lot of people go into relationships without any knowledge at all.
Listen, I hear you, man, and I really do appreciate what you're saying. I really do appreciate what you're saying. I just think that the bait and switch is
It's a true thing. It happens.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you, man. That terrifies me. I don't think I'll ever get married again, but that terrifies me. It really does, because I don't want to be stuck, and I don't want to step out. I don't want to do that. But I got to be happy. I got to be happy with it. I got to be happy.
Well, again, happiness is not just Dr. L. Happiness also includes your girl as well. That's why that's why the 3 C's are very important: connection, communication, compromise.
Again, I don't want to belabor this, but I think a lot of times people really have a repulsion to that, and we're asking people to repulse to work through the repulsions. Because you seen the movie The Brothers with not D.L. Hewley. It was it was D.L. Hewley. D.L. Hewley, Orange Chestnut. It was like from 1993 or something like that. It's an old movie, The Brothers. And his wife, D.L. Hewley's wife in the movie, did not want to perform oral because she was told and taught that it was a sinful and only bad girls did that. From a Christian person, I'm pretty sure she grew up in church and this is what was taught. So now here she meets this man, her husband, probably didn't have the marital counseling as you're saying, and now he can't get what he wants. And so he's stuck now. I mean, he was 2 kids in or some crazy mess like that. Brother, you should have checked that at the beginning, which I agree with. So
again, most people fail because they don't do the due diligence. You sign a contract for a house, you sign a contract for a car, you sign a contract for a deal, and you read through the contract before you get married. How come we're not doing the same thing in marriage? Listen, let's find out what I like, what you don't like. Excuse me, and let's make sure we're on one accord. Let's make sure we're eyeball to eyeball. Because if you're not doing that, then you're going to fail in your relationship. You will fail. That's why so many couples fail, because again, there's no premarital counseling. For Christians especially. I mean, I was of the impression, well, you Church of God in Christ, I'm Church of God in Christ. This is going to work. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I'm not just saying for Church of God in Christ. I'm talking about Christian to Christian. You're Christian, I'm a Christian, so this is going to work out. Absolutely not.
Do you agree with, or what do you do, or how do you handle those who want to test drive the car before they buy it? If you know what I'm saying.
So God forgives all sins. I'll leave it like that. God forgives all.
Okay. That don't sound very convincing, but okay.
Yep,
Okay.
God forgives all. I mean,
All
God,
right.
the thing about it, God forgives all. Okay.
Now, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go
No, I
ahead.
was gonna say, so we have a great relationship. They've been dating for 6 months, never touched each other, and they said, okay, listen, we're God gonna forgive us for this, but we want to make sure that we're compatible. They end up not being compatible because of various reasons that people are not compatible, size, duration, you don't like to do the same things, breath, what whatever. um, would you say to that couple that they got to work through that, or because they have found out that this major component of the relationship, which is a component of connection, is off? Everything else is good. We had a great time. We make each other laugh. Politics, everything else that in a relationship is just that one sexual component is just not there. Would you recommend that they not be together, or what?
Really, are they willing to go through the counseling and figure out what happened? I mean,
Mhm.
again, forgiveness is there, but we got to really figure out what's going on in our minds, because a lot of people have been predisposed to not to enjoy sex. Number one, a lot of people have been predisposed that sex is evil, sex is ungodly, even in marriage. As a kid in the church, I only heard that premarital sex was wrong, and I never one message ever heard sex was right in marriage. Never heard it.
Mm.
Zero. Maybe you did. I never heard it.
That
And so,
sex was right.
yeah,
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that. Yeah.
never heard it.
Mm.
All right.
The- the-
So a lot of people go into marriage with, this is taboo
mm.
and it's wrong.
Pre- and preachers tell them that don't. I've heard preachers say, "Don't put your mouth on y'all. Putting your mouth is on
That's
each
correct.
other
That's correct. That's correct. And this is the same preacher that has 10 kids.
and
And
stepping out on their wives."
so so again, we got to be honest in this world. No one comes into a relationship sinless, whether before the relationship or during the relationship. No one. He that without sin cast the first stone. No one goes into a marriage sinless. Zero. Anyone who feels that, you jacked up, because whether you did it in your mind or you did it physically, no one goes in a marriage sinless. So that's something that's very important. A lot of Christian couples don't understand that we both are in need of grace. We both are in need of God covering us. And some couples, some may take to a extreme of, listening to gospel music while they have sex after they get married, and you know, all that type of stuff. Let's pray real hard to make sure we don't do anything that. Listen, the marriage bed is undefiled. That's the word of God. It is undefiled. So because it's undefiled, let me enjoy what God has given me to the fullest. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I'll leave it off there with the marital counseling thing, because I think that what we just alluded to, what we just talked about, takes a little bit more than what we can address on a platform. You have to, because there are, just like we talked about trauma affecting it, religious teachings affect
For
that
sure.
as well,
For
and they
sure.
can devastate, and people could be horrified and this and that, and
I would uh I would say um without any negative without any restraint, the church has messed up many people's sex life. Many. After marriage, especially. I messed them
do
up
you
because
think? Go ahead. That's not because.
uh, because understand, Paul talked about sex in First Corinthians chapter 7. The Bible, Old Testament, talks about sex. And yet, when the church fathers, meaning after the apostles, the 12 apostles had died on, the church fathers, most of them had a negative connotation towards sex. Uh, I talk about that, oh, glory to God, in my book called the Author of Sex God. And the church fathers said in so many words, the woman is supposed to only procreate, and that's it, not have any pleasure at all.
Mm.
You have St. Augustine and Thomas Aquinas and Origin, all of them said in essence that if a man wants to have pleasure, get a prostitute. That's jacked up, but that's what they said because they did not want to have pleasure. But let's go to the text. It was Sarah, the mother of the faith. Abraham was the father of the faith. But it was Sarah that when she talked about having Isaac, the firstborn, she said, how can I have pleasure in my old age? She didn't say, how can I have a child in my old age? She said, how can I have pleasure? I'm not sure why preachers don't see that text. She said, how can I have a child? She said, how can I have pleasure? So the church has done a very good job with instigating that married couples should not enjoy sex to the fullest. And I am definitely, as you can tell, not a proponent of that at all. Within the new,
I
go ahead. Okay.
I was going.
I'm sorry, you did that on me quick. The right reverend. I apologize.
So I was on. I really thought about what you said. Before you said it, but this whole they've been messing up people's lives and stuff. I gotta wonder if that was intentional. Not from Origins and Augustus and Aquinas's.
I don't think it was intentional. But again, a lot of these men were really Saint Augustine, especially, who's from Africa. A lot of people don't know this. He was from Africa. So he was an African. Because of his past, he was a homemonger. I mean, he had many prostitutes. He had
there you go. I mean, that answers that question.
Right? Exactly.
He's trying to purify his mind, and so therefore he didn't want to bring the nasty stuff that he did to his woman.
That's correct. That's correct. Right. He had an illegitimate child, so he brought his condemnation into his teaching, and so many of the church fathers do exactly that. Plus, in the Greek tradition, the flesh was always bad. The spirit was good. The flesh was bad. So let me demonize the flesh. Let me demonize sexuality. That's why if you look at a lot of the mysticism of Christianity, a lot of them always came after sex and abstinence, even in marriage, is the right thing to do. And celibacy in marriage does not get along at all.
So I was also going to say that I think that a lot of times church brothers or church people today mess up people's marriages because they want the women for themselves. You all don't do this. Don't put your mouth on this. And meanwhile, they're creeping into these ladies' bedrooms because they're not sexually dissatisfied. That was always my thinking about that. Because I tell you a story. There was a preacher who came one time. He was saying this stuff, and then it came out. He was a traveling minister. The church that I went to, traveling minister.
I know you're talking about too.
And then he was sleeping with some other ladies.
Every city he's been in, there's a child there.
Well, I was talking about somebody different. But I know you're talking about. But
yeah. The thing about it, I'm not trying to demonize all pastors because I'm a pastor too, but there are certain men who are very predatory toward the women in their church. That's why I went to my divorce. I didn't date any women in my church, period. Why? Because I didn't want to set a precedent. If I date someone in my church and then don't go well, then, they go to rumor mill. So again, it's my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And think about it. Why is the divorce rate same for Christians and non-Christians? But people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. I'm divorced, you divorced, and we were both in the church. Why? No knowledge. No knowledge. The knowledge I have right now, I wish I had when I got married at 21, but I didn't have the knowledge. Oh my God. The mindset I have right now, if I had at 21, there would have been no divorce, but I had to go through what I had to go through so I could be the man I am today and teach couples, men especially, what not to do. How can I tell someone not to do if I never experienced it? If I never had to go through it? That's why I'm such a component, and some people fight me on this, that, brother, you not just have the title, you have the responsibility of being a husband. It's not just a title. And for me, as a young person, I just thought it was a title. But so many things went with it that I did not understand it.
Yeah. All right, brother. We can move on from this, man.
All right.
You've given some wisdom. I hope that people really do get the knowledge, the wisdom, from wherever they can get it from. I hope that preachers speak out, and I hope that families speak out concerning young men, you know older men, seasoned men. You and I are in our 50s and 60s should be talking to these brothers about this, whether they do it through a counseling session, or I know you don't drink, but over a drink, a beer, or, just talk, hey man, you pleasing your woman, or whatever. And I don't
Yeah.
think that enough of that is going on, not
Yeah. Yeah.
passing down this type of wisdom.
Uh, Again, however many more decades God give me, I'm just going to do the best I can. And I know the field that I'm in. As much as I like to preach, I know my mainstay is teaching couples who will listen. Just yesterday, I went over a couple's house. They had 3 other couples there, and I did a small in-group teaching on marriage. I did a small in-group teaching on marriage and on sex and the whole bit. And after I left, I hope by God's grace, the men and women got something from it. Because again, a lot of times we are going on what we saw or what we did not see. That familiar spirit is not just demonic. That familiar spirit also means lessons that I did not learn or lessons I saw as a child. I'm going to regurgitate them in my present relationship. That's what happens all the time.
All right, before we go on to the next topic for today, Cheyenne Bryant, your favorite therapist there, is back in
No,
the
sir.
news here.
That is your favorite therapist that you would love to date and be your next missus, sir. I know that, sir.
She's a bad woman, man, but she is. After this clip we're going to show here, I'm going to demonstrate to you why she could never be the next Mrs. Hunter. I'll demonstrate that one real quick for you, brother.
All right, so we got 28 more minutes, sir. Give it to me. Let's go.
All right, hold on here.
People,
this
here
is the latest. This is the clip that has been going viral here. I'm going to put this on 1.25 speed. Okay, so this is. Are you familiar? Cheyenne Bryant is in an obviously lower left corner, and up in the upper right corner is a guy named Toure. Have you ever heard of him? Let me take this
Never.
off here. Okay, let me take that off here. Toure is he's been writing columns for different magazines, been on a bunch of different shows. I think mostly MSNBC, but maybe CNN, places like that. And I think the guy in the upper left is Frank Ski. I guess he's an Atlanta host of a TV show, or excuse me, radio show. And Ariva Martin is the lower right, and she is an attorney. So we're going to pick it up right here. This is a 5-minute clip, so we'll listen to it in its entirety, and I want to get your comments about this interaction. You have not seen this, correct?
Doc, what do you think about the notion of holding parents criminally responsible for their children's behavior?
I said earlier, I said it's circumstantial. I think that if a parent is neglecting their child of what's needed for them to be mentally stable and healthy and be in a state of mind where they can actually, operate as a citizen who isn't impaired, then I think that that parent who's providing those resources, should not be have consequence or discipline. But again, if you're neglecting your child in any manner, I think there should be consequences to a parent, no matter what, if there's neglect at the hands of a child. But y'all know how I feel. I feel gentle parenting makes for a gentle child. I think that there are rules and there's structure, and there's a thing called boundaries, and boundaries have been proven to create healthy relationships, not just between people, but for that person within themselves. And if we raise kids with no boundaries and no structure and discipline, they go out into the world and they don't understand that, and they end up being in battles, and they end up actually having a lot of issues with law enforcement. They end up being the child that's disruptive in school and class because they don't understand that the world doesn't revolve around them. There's a big world that they are able to participate in, but they cannot be the center of attention to everything. And so I'll end on saying that what I do agree with is that every child is different, that every child may not necessarily need the same level of discipline, but every child does need structure and discipline in order for that child to grow up and be an adult who understands that this is the law of the land. This is how life works. And successful people, not just only externally, but internally, what they do carry at the nucleus of who they are is discipline and boundaries.
If gentle parenting creates gentle children, sign me up. I definitely want to create more gentle adults, especially men. Hold on, everybody, especially men.
You are
My
a gentle,
God,
you
are
are
you
a
kidding?
very,
Hold on, guys.
hold on,
Guys. That's what we need in the world is more gentle men who understand.
You're very gentle, and it comes at an angle that doesn't always work for people.
Let's just stop and go back. Because I'm wrapping the show and you're interrupting me.
First of all,
this is what we spent a whole meeting on this.
First of all, Teray,
why don't you let me wrap the show? I'm ending the show. What is the point of interrupting me? We're getting out of here. Like, what is the point? What is the point? It says go to host up.
When you're talking to me, lower your fucking voice when you're talking to me, because you're acting very, very gentle, very soft, and very feminine. And this is the problem. Teray, you talk to your wife like that. You don't talk to me like that. I am not your wife. You don't talk to me like that. I'm not your wife, gentle. I'm not your wife, softy. Don't talk to me like that. You talk to your wife like that, not me. Teray, talk to your wife like that. Do not talk to me like that. That is not how you That is not how you professionally approach me. Don't fucking talk to me like that. Check.
Frank and Ariva, I apologize.
Check yourself. You don't talk to me like that.
Hold on,
to your
Doc.
wife like that.
Doc, hold on.
Shut the fuck up talking to me like that. That's what you do. That's what you do. You better tap into your gentleness and real quick.
Are we ready?
I've been ready. Being ready.
Ariva, Frank, you guys ready?
Yep.
You ready to wrap this up?
Yes, as I was doing.
And then we'll speak off camera. Here we go.
We always ask, when should a parent be held responsible for their children's behavior, whether it's at school, tantrum in Walmart, whatever? Let's flip the lens. There's a difference between the parent mourning a child lost to violence and the one silently praying because their child pulled the trigger. One gets sympathy, the other gets silence, but both carry a pain the world rarely understands. So tonight, the part we never talk about, ask yourself, not as a spectator, but as a parent of a child who took a life, how should society treat that parent? Should the law hold them accountable or let them live with the weight in silence? Would you deserve compassion or a conviction or a bunch of I told you so's? It's a tough one, but that's what we do on Truth Talks. Hit us in the comments and let us know how you feel. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you Bring the Funk family for welcoming the Truth Tellers to the channel. This is our last week on Roland Martin Unfiltered. To continue to see the show and support Black media, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Truth Talks Live, where you can catch us every night at 8 p.m. EST and at 11 p.m. EST. Support Black media at Cash App's Truth Talks Live or on any of the links on your screen. Get your Truth Talks membership today. Click here on the screen and you can choose from 3 different exciting tiers. Black media is under attack and this show is being shadow banned. So support us by telling a friend to tell a friend to check us out every night at 8 p.m. See you next time on our channel.
Good night, y'all.
One question: whose show is this? Is it her show or his show?
I think it was. If you let's see. So I think it's just like
his show, right?
I think it was Roland Martin show. I think it's like a subsidiary of the Roland Martin Unfiltered show. I think that's what I think.
All right. So the executive producer was really talking to the guy Tory. So apparently it was his show. So she should have been submissive to his show.
Well, you see that she wasn't. You see that she wasn't. You see how she flipped. I mean, well, you tell me. I mean, I have so many problems with this on so many different levels. But I want to hear what you have to say.
So professionalism says when you the host and you are the host of this podcast, when the host says wrap it up, then the people who are on the show shut their mouths and let the person wrap it up. That's and then for her to do character assassinations, that's definitely not professional. Yeah. It's not professional to do those character assassinations. And how does he know how he talks to his wife? How does she know that?
Did you think that he said anything that would trigger that type of response?
I didn't think she's under a lot of pressure because of the whole PhD questioning, and I think she just had one of those moments. But again, professionalism must be carried out throughout, because you never know when the camera's on.
That clip that I just showed is a year old.
That's a year old. How about actually how old is that clip?
It just came out. They just released it because of this controversy over her PhD. They just released it. So it's a year old. The executive producer cut his mic, didn't cut hers, who was swearing like a sailor, showing the unprofessionalism that you and I agree was demonstrated. Told the man, we're going to talk after. We'll talk after. No, we're going to talk right now. This woman over here. And then, he had the last word, as you mentioned. I'm assuming it was his show or he was the host. He had the last word. And what did she do? Good night, y'all. That was the Torre. That wasn't toward the guest. I'm sure that clip was clipped out for the guests. They didn't see the real full clip. What happened behind the scenes there?
That's a serious problem, sir. That's all. Let's say that's a serious problem, and not a good look. That's all. Not a good look.
You so nice, man. You so
Now,
nice.
I'm being professional, sir, but I'm also saying that's not a good look. That's not a good look for her. But again, the Bible does say, as you know, the Right Reverend Dr. L, what's in the dark will come to the light.
He's so nice, man. I don't like that they held out onto that clip. They could have saved a lot of people a lot of trouble. People who were going to her for therapy, for counseling, people who were using her services. She wrote this book. That clip should have came out, and she should have been exposed. And they probably didn't want to expose her. They probably didn't want to embarrass her. They probably didn't. They wanted to show some professionalism. So now when this more PhD stuff comes out, now they went, oh, well, we knew about this all the time, and here's this clip.
So I know you're not a lawyer, but can she sue over that this clip came out like that? Can she sue over
it? Was their clip. It was their clip. I'm sure that she had to sign some type of rights to that. We own these clips and this, that, and the other. I think she's going to get sued. I think this woman's going to get sued because she has purported herself to be this psychological expert with all these credentials and degrees, and people are continuing to ask her for that. You and I haven't talked, but more stuff has come out. They've asked her for these credentials, and she's refusing.
Let's come out.
Oh, well, hold on, man. Let me find it here. Let me pause this for a second.
I'm not.
All right, so I'm going to add this to the stage here. You asked for it, brother. So this is a clip of her. Now, this one is 11 days ago as we record this. You see this down here? This is 11 days ago. Okay, so this just came out. Right, so this one just came out. So this is her. She's doing a press tour for her book. She wrote a book. She's doing a press tour from the book. And this is, we're going to pick it up here. So we're going to listen to this here. It's about halfway through. This is really the most relevant part. So here we go.
Choice or one free will in life is to choose a person, not to change them.
What do you say to people who say that sound advice that you're giving, but you've never been married? You know, you don't have any children. How can you give relationship advice, family advice, whatnot? What's your response?
This is my favorite question, by the way, my absolutely favorite question. I say this: I don't teach people how to be married. That is a covenant and agreement that you two make together. Only you know how to marry and have your covenant with God. I teach people how to get out of their own way. I teach you how to get past your trauma, past your parental issues, so you don't come and bleed onto that relationship. See, look, happy, healthy people make happy, healthy relationships, and traumatized out people create trauma bonds. And so the goal for me is to say, if I can get you all to be in alignment with yourself, your 3-part house is what I talk about in the book: how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. If that can align, then guess what? Y'all can align. But if you can't align with yourself, what makes you think you can align or even be at peace with somebody else? It doesn't work like that.
Can you begin to learn more about yourself, though, in the process of forming that relationship? You don't have to stay single to get that.
Listen, girl, you cooking, girl. I love this. Because I always say there's a lot that you can get from books, a lot you can get from principle, from tools, but there's a whole lot you got to just learn on the job. There's a lot of things that you just have to learn by experiencing it and being. This is why the wilderness is so important, because the wilderness is giving you experience. You're learning on the job. Relationships, marriages also have a wilderness season. It's not kumbaya the entire relationship. So when you all are in the wilderness, that means you're learning yourself, you're learning the relationship, and you're learning how to love on each other. The Bible says love each other by knowledge. The knowledge piece is your recipe. It's not about giving them what you want them to have. It's let me give you what serves you. I'll end on this. Marriage is a service position. Can you serve? Can you serve the person or not serve yourself? That's what it's about.
Yeah. I have to ask you this. I have a segment here called Motivation with Marissa, and I know you're a motivator for many people. And oftentimes when you have that role, that moniker, you're the strong friend.
Yeah.
So I got to check in on strong friends. I want to check in with you because you've gone viral recently. People questioning your credentials, whether you should even be giving advice that you're giving. How are you doing, particularly within the last few days?
Thank you for asking that. I love that. I'm actually doing really good. I don't know a person who has received this amount of free marketing. It couldn't have happened in a better time for my book that just, launched a couple of days ago. And within 24 hours, we made the bestsellers list, not only for print, but for the ebook. And so that's very exciting. Also, I know a couple of things. There's promises that God has for us. He says that all, not some, all things are working for your good. He also says that not to get weary in well doing. And he says that I give you much territory and your job is to possess it. And my job as God is to protect it. I protect what I give you. And so when territory is expanded, God says that the cross gets heavier. And if you cannot carry a heavy cross for the expansion of the territory I gave you, then guess what? Maybe you're not ready, because to whom much is given, much is required. And so it's important for people who are in service, in leadership positions, to not personalize, right? When you have folks who come in and attempt to crucify what you have going on, because your job is to not get weary in your service. And I'll land on this. My obedience is to God, not to people. And so as long as I'm in his will and I'm serving and I'm doing his, his word, my sheep will know my voice, even the sheep in wolf clothing. That is not my battle.
But with the questions that are out there, why not provide the proof of your degree? Why not?
Well, a couple of things, right? I have multiple degrees. And my thing is that my proof isn't something that I have to prove to individuals. My proof is already within my credentials, my degrees, and also more than just my titles. It's in how effective I've been. All of my sessions have been live for the most part. My sessions with Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, Shannon Sharp, B. Simone, they have all been for the world to see, right? So no one knew who Dr. Bryant was prior to seeing all of my sessions that were live. And they deemed it, as well as I did before they did it. They can't validate me. I validated myself. They deemed it as my work being effective. I am effective at what I do. I'm educated and I'm successful in my lane. And I land on this. I created my own lane. And so a lot of times, Marissa, when people say that you created something that maybe they couldn't, admiration turns into envy. And you got to be okay. And you got to be okay with that in that space.
Attack, I've gotten this question from many viewers, and I owe it to them.
You
in
do.
Service to
Absolutely.
them. Why not drop doctor from your name if you cannot bring forth that doctoral degree?
So I've already covered this, right? And we're here obviously to talk about my new book. So I've earned the title. I have multiple degrees, and I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. And we're going to leave it just as that. Yeah.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Baby, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
And that's where, and you're standing by that.
Standing by it. Yeah, because I earned it. Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. I know you're going to hang around. And
I want to thank you for asking the hard questions.
Well, I
appreciate that.
I'm a journalist with 2 degrees at the end of the day. And so I had 2.
Come on.
Yes, Northwestern and Emory University. So I had to make sure I display that as well as a journalist. So thank you for coming and for hanging around. We're going to have some fun in just a little bit.
So that is the latest controversy of this clown continuing to refuse to share her degrees, to answer questions directly without word salads. So what are your thoughts about that?
Most women, when they want to see a man's FICO score, want to see if a man is married or divorced or baby mama, that man better produce some evidence. So if that works for the man, it works for the woman too as well. My degrees are definitely on my website. I got pictures of it. Y'all can see some of my degrees over there as well. My transcript is on my website. So, if you got them, most people want to flaunt it. Oh, I'm sorry. The young people say, want to ice it. I've got to floss it. There you go. Floss it. Most people want to floss what they've done. Right? They want to floss what God has done in their lives. So for her not to want to floss it, I don't understand that, but hey,
And nobody understands it, because sometimes if somebody starts asking me about mine, you can't shut me up. So because we went through all this work.
Yeah,
this work, man.
Yeah, my dissertations are publicized. My first dissertation is in one of my books, and my second dissertation is in my second book. So I don't know why people don't want to floss what God has done for you. So, hey,
I think the obvious answer is that she doesn't have it. She doesn't have it. There's another clip I could play about this.
I appreciate. I won't see no more.
Yeah, well, she's going on multiple press tours trying to demonstrate that she has this book, and now people, because of these disastrous press interviews, she has they have decided to start returning some books, excuse me, giving refunds because she doesn't have the credentials, and people feel duped. So this is the book that she had on there, "Live Your Promise," and then we go down here to these reviews. 1 star. I had an opportunity to see the author in a podcast and decided to pre-order the book, and I received it yesterday. From my point of view, it wasn't spiritually led or and written for me. Another 1 star, just claiming that she was I returned the book because I no longer trusted the author's credibility. The issue for me was not simply the degree claim itself, but the repeated inconsistencies, changing explanations, and refusal to directly address legitimate questions in a transparent way. And just other people, not a doctor or a therapist. So you can go over to Amazon and just read all this. But ones it's inspiring. I mean, some people are finding it inspiring. Professional gaslighting. Cheyenne, I'm deeply disappointed. So people can go over there and read that. But the publisher, Hayes Stack or Hayes something, whoever the publisher is, who is the publisher on this? Hay House LLC has been. If you want a refund, they have been giving refunds. So I think that this is interesting. I'm wondering if she's going to be sued because people have gone to her because they thought she was trained, had the licenses, credentials, etc. And it turns out she just either doesn't have them or refuses to present them. And if she does have them, people can't find it. You can't find her as you publicized your credentials. People have looked for hers on different academic websites. They can't find them. And she just gives ridiculous answers to these types of questions. And some things that she should know when you watch other interviews as someone who's gone through the process. I'm like, that ain't right. And I got my master's degrees in forensic psychology, so I can speak some of the lingo as well. And I'm like, I don't think that's right either. What she's saying, this trauma bonding stuff and high functioning, low functioning, and all this type of stuff. So that's that. That's that. I want to get your thoughts and your opinions about.
I think people want truth. The truth sets you free, and people don't want fake or AI generated. I was pleasantly put in a bad place because during Resurrection Sunday, I found a great song, and I was looking up the singer. I mean, the singer was singing great. Come to find out, it was AI generated, and I so disappointed that I spent all that money. Well, it was only $10 to buy the album, but it was just a lesson to all of us that even though it sounds great, it wasn't a person. So how can you talk about these things that she talked about, the AI generated singer, without actually living them? That's why I think it's very important that you find someone who has gone through some pain and some trauma to get the wisdom of it and to find out, not just from book knowledge. And that's why, all glory to God, the knowledge that God has given me, the books I've written, being certified by American Association of Christian Counselors, is not just my certification, it's the life I had to go through myself, learning the valleys and the mountains that marriage brings, going through a divorce, and by God's grace, getting married again. So it's I think people want I don't think people want reality. They don't want the hodgepodge of what you think. I really want to know that you've gone through something and came out on the better end.
Right. So she hasn't gone through anything, doesn't have children, and doesn't have a husband, and never had one. So therefore, that presents some great deal of credibility problems. And I think that what she's going to do, because she, as you heard, was speaking a lot of Christian lingo, is eventually going to go the Christian route. Or I was always speaking from a Christian counselor perspective. That's what I think she's going to do in order to avoid any type of legal, and I'm talking about civilly being sued, and maybe even some criminal liabilities for perpetrating herself to be a holder of therapeutic licenses and degrees from the state rather than anything else. So I think that may be a route that she's going to go, or she's going to reinvent herself and continue to interact and speak Christianese along with some therapeutic things here and there, and saying I'm offering Christian counseling.
Yeah. I've always told my people I'm a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I'm a counselor. I'm not a clinician. I'm a counselor. So I give people what I do. I'm a pastoral counselor. That's me. But at the same time, I have a problem with people who talk about relationships, but you never have a sustained relationship yourself. I do have a problem with that. How can you tell people about relationships when you're talking about being a better you? So I'm assuming you are a better you. So if you're a better you, how come you not married yet? So, that's just my statement.
You're so nice, man. I was tearing into this lady because I don't like it, and I wouldn't mind. Here's the thing I said in my first video. Listen, I said the first time I did a video about her, I said if she never purported herself to be a doctor, she never put that out there. This woman is well spoken. She's obviously beautiful. Obviously, she can, say some uplifting things to get people to realize some things about themselves. Had she just done that as a life coach or as some type of Christian counselor or something like that, nobody would even think twice about what she's done. But it's that, along with the gaslighting, along with the outburst that we saw here, she may have some serious narcissistic tendencies that need to be checked. She's talked about her own traumas and upbringings and things, and she's probably latched on to, I want to be somebody in life, number one, because she said this. I looked at other people and I said, I want to live that type of life. And number two, suffered from pretty privilege because no one has ever told her no. No one ever told her, listen, go sit down somewhere. This ain't it.
I've never heard of that. Pretty privilege. That's something.
This is pretty privilege because it's gotten her into doors. It's gotten her into clubs. And I don't mean that as far as, bottles and drinking clubs. I'm talking about, she is the head of the NAACP or something like that from her state or something along those lines. So she's done some things. It could be because she has purported herself to be a doctor, number one, and number two, because she's beautiful. And because you put these together, and because women want to be like her, so they're going to look up to her. And the other point of that is guys want to sleep with her. So that creates this idea where no one's told her no. No one's told her to sit down. No one's told her to shut up, get some training, get some learning, and knock it off. So nobody can pull your coattail. That may have been a problem.
You really like her, don't you, Lawrence? Be honest. You really like her.
Man, you can't keep on track, man. You can't keep on track, man. You can't keep on track, man. Let me let you go, man.
I can keep on track, man. I mean, the bottom line is, how can I say this? The Bible says in the last days there'll be many false prophets. Right. So false prophets is not just in the Bible. It's not in the church. It's also outside the church. And that's why you have to vet people who you allow speaking to your life. I mean, I don't care who it may be. Are you living what you're talking? I mean, and the obvious thing is that how can you be a relationship expert when you're not in a relationship yourself? That should have been warning signs for anybody. I mean, you're that beautiful, you're that attractive, you're very intelligent, but you're not in a relationship yourself. You're not married yourself. So that should give you a should I really have this person speak to me? Because when you open yourself up to be spoken to from that person, then whatever spirit they have, you're going to adopt as well.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth.
But if I said that she's beautiful, then it's a problem. But anyway, all right, brother.
Thank you, sir.
We didn't get to what I wanted to talk about, but we had a good conversation, man, about sex, relationships.
A very good conversation. Let's do this again very soon, sir.
All right, man. Hit me up and let me know when you're free. You guys go over to make sure you hit all the like button on this video. Let me put this up here. Hit the like button on this video. Follow Dr. B on Instagram, TikTok, or wherever else he can be found. I'm not on any of that stuff. Well, I am on Instagram, but I don't post over there. So, make sure you hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Make sure you go back, subscribe, share, all the kind of good stuff. We are growing slowly. We need your likes. We need your support. If there's any show ideas.
How many subscribers we have now?
39. We all the way up to 39. Listen, the more we post, the more we can't do a show once a month,
Hey,
man.
people, we're being honest. We're not souping up our subscribers. It's not 39 in-laws and what like that. It's totally organic. So help us out. You got two black men talk about intelligent stuff. We have degrees by the grace of God and all that good stuff. So please,
we're not out here Cheyenne Bryanting the whole situation here, man. We're not doing that, man. So
thank you,
y'all
sir.
hit make sure you follow us, and yes, hit the like button, subscribe. If there's anything you want us to talk about, I'm looking for our email up here, in case you can email us. And if there's a show topic that you have or a video you want us to discuss or anything like that, sure, and let us know. And then we'll even take some incoming questions there. You shoot us an email.
Yes.
We'll answer the question. If there's a question, my field of training is forensic psychology.
We should do a live. We should do a live. Maybe that might give us some more subscribers.
We got to hit a certain amount of subscribers. So you want us to do a live? We got to hit a subscriber count to go live. I don't remember what it is.
You can go live on Facebook. I mean, on Facebook with StreamYard.
With how many subscribers? All right. We'll look into that.
All right, sir. All right. Bless you, sir.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take care. Honored. Thanks for being on your show. How to turn this thing off. Love you, man.